We all know Mrbeast, but there are lots of other great YouTubers out there who produce almost identical content. Some of the more popular ones include Brent Rivera, ZHC, Collins Key, Zhong, Preston, Airrack, and Matthew Beem. Together, these content creators have amassed almost 300 million subscribers. Their videos regularly get millions of views, but why? What makes them so successful? Obviously, they all have great content in the form of insane challenges, ridiculously expensive pranks, and whatnot. It's quality entertainment, but what else do they have in common? Today, we'll be analyzing 8 famous YouTubers' thumbnails to see what makes them so irresistibly clickable. Let's start by taking a look at some of the most viewed videos. 3 things immediately stand out. All these thumbnails have bright and vibrant colors, they feature exaggerated facial expressions, and they pretty much don't contain any text. In fact, they're almost cartoonish in nature. Did you know that 6 out of 10 most viewed videos on YouTube are kids' videos like Baby Shark, Johnny, Yes Papa, and Coco Melon nursery rhymes? Kids love them because they're fun, colorful, and upbeat. Their love for these things also extend beyond animated videos. YouTube channels such as Like Nastya, Ryan's World, and Diana and Roma are extremely popular because they also portray these fun, colorful, and upbeat qualities, not just in their videos but also in their thumbnails. And the thing is, this inclination towards these qualities doesn't change when we become adults. Bright colors and jazzed faces still bring about feelings of fun, excitement, and joy in us. Mrbeast's thumbnail designers know that, and that's why they create their thumbnails in a similar fashion. In fact, thumbnail design analyst and educator Jay Alto said in a tweet that Mrbeast has a very distinctive thumbnail style. He has a cartoon effect, particularly on his face, which includes boosting brightness and saturation. The end result? Mrbeast's thumbnails are always bright and colorful. It's becoming so highly successful that plenty of other YouTubers have followed suit. If we're being technical, Mrbeast may not have been the one to invent this style, but he's certainly the one who popularized it. Here's why it works so well. Bright colors are eye-catching. They easily stand out against both white and black backgrounds, which means they'll catch your attention regardless of whether you're using the light or dark theme to view YouTube. The brighter the colors, the more the thumbnail jumps out of the screen. More importantly, bright colors can have powerful effects on our emotions, as opposed to dull or muted colors, which can lead to feelings of indifference or even sadness. Bright colors can make us feel energized and happy, which is really what we're after when we want to watch entertaining videos. This is why you'll see a lot of thumbnail designers go for oversaturated colors and lots of neons like green, orange, pink, and blue. They make us feel excited and cheerful. And since we want more of those things, we click on these videos to get more of that excitement and joy. Take a look at these thumbnails from Mrbeast's videos 4 years ago and compare them to his most recent thumbnails. There's a big difference in terms of overall style, but the first thing that really pops at you is the stark difference in color and saturation. In fact, it wasn't until 3 years ago when Mrbeast started going for a more vibrant look for his thumbnails that his videos started surpassing 100 million views. It's the same with Brent Rivera, ZHC, and Airrack. They all started with visibly more muted and cluttered thumbnails before changing their style to more neat and vibrant looking. There's a big factor in netting them significantly more views. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please make sure to like and subscribe. Now, there's another big factor that drives up CTR that you can clearly notice in these more recent video thumbnails. They all clearly showcase exaggerated facial expressions. The reason why this is so important is because it's what creates the condition with the viewers. When we look at a picture of someone displaying big emotions like extreme joy, shock, fear, or rage, it brings up similar emotions in us. And when that person in the picture is staring right at the camera, what happens when we look at them in the eyes and these emotions get stronger? This is why YouTubers often include their faces on their thumbnails. It's a proven fact that humans respond to faces, particularly those displaying complex emotions. That's the whole science behind it. In fact, this strategy of displaying expressive faces on thumbnails isn't limited to YouTube. Netflix is a master at this. They even have an algorithm that analyzes their film and TV content to find the best frames that they can use for their thumbnails. And 2 of the key metrics are expressive faces and bright colors. We have a video that talks about how Netflix picks thumbnails in more detail. If you want to watch it, click the link that popped up on your screen. Meanwhile, let's check out some more of our beloved YouTubers' thumbnails and see if we can find some more similarities when it comes to faces and facial expressions. Here are a couple of thumbnails, each from Mrbeast, Brent, ZHC, Collins, Zhong, Preston, Airrack, and Matthew. Aside from the exaggerated expressions and looking into the camera, another thing that's common among these thumbnails is that their faces occupy about 1/3 of the thumbnail. This is done deliberately so that despite the thumbnail being a small speck on the screen, viewers can still quickly and clearly see the emotions they're displaying, as well as recognize whoever's on the thumbnail. And yet another commonality is the way these faces are edited. There are little to no blemishes, the eyes are big and bright, and the mouths are open wide, in other words, cartoonish. Now let's take a look at these thumbnails and figure out what they have in common. You might remember these from the beginning of this video. These are the #1 most viewed videos of YouTubers we've mentioned, and none of them contain words. This too is a deliberate choice, and that is because great thumbnails have the ability to effectively tell a story without using words. You know the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words? That's the goal when you're designing a thumbnail. It has to be able to speak for itself and convey to the viewers what the video is about. It's as simple as this. The title is for the words, and the thumbnail is for pictures. This is why YouTubers like Mrbeast, ZHC, Preston, Airrack, and so on typically don't put any text on their thumbnails. And on the occasions that they do, it's usually limited to 1 to 2 words. Here are some examples of the thumbnails without any text, and some with minimal text. One thing that you'll notice here is that the text is typically one of 4 things: an amount of money, a period of time, a mix of numbers and words that serve as a quantifier, or a word that serves as an identifier. Experienced thumbnail designers only use text when there's a piece of information that the thumbnail needs to convey that cannot be explained through images. Let's examine some of Matthew Beem's earlier videos so you can better understand what this means. This thumbnail shows an entire wall of shoes, which makes the words "insane shoe collection" redundant. This one says Las Vegas hype shopping, but all you really need are lots of shopping bags and a bigger Las Vegas sign. Here you can see a table entirely covered with dozens of food, along with Matthew holding up a Chick-fil-A bag, which more than adequately illustrates that he ordered the entire Chick-fil-A menu. In fact, the words Chick-fil-A menu are already on the title. On this thumbnail, instead of writing the words "something terrible happened," you could simply make the other elements bigger. The pop-up that says corrupted file and Matthew's devastated face. Finally, we have the words super hot wings, but the wings are nowhere in the picture. There's a red-faced dude and some fire emojis, but the wings themselves are missing. These videos averaged about 20,000 views, but since Matthew Beem changed strategies and started creating thumbnails that were bright, feature expressive faces, and have little to no text, his views jumped to millions. That just goes to say that this formula is highly effective at getting you these high click-through rates that you want. And here's the thing, even if your channel is far from the type of content these YouTubers are creating, this formula will still pretty much work. Maybe neon colors aren't quite for your target market, but an overall bright and saturated thumbnail will always stand out better than a dull and lifeless one. Perhaps crazy faces are not appropriate for more professional topics, but clearly visible faces will still help you connect with your viewers, and it makes it easy for them to recognize you. And as for words, remember, if you can write that piece of information in the title, or you can convey it with pictures, you don't need to put these words in your thumbnail. That's it for today's video. Watch this next one where we analyze more YouTubers' thumbnails to find out the sweet spot of virality.